we're back. Now, I really hope you guys chose the Flipgrid option. And I know you noticed the little funny money Bitmoji I have here because it is going to be worth $5 funny if you did do a Flipgrid option. Like I said, it's totally up to you, but I'm really hoping that you guys will engage in the video. That way I can hear your voice, hear what you're saying. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about our vocabulary activity. I'm not going to do a lesson of it right now because in the actual PowerPoint, there is a video lesson. I'm going to navigate to it so you can see what I'm talking about. But inside of the vocabulary lesson that you're going to submit, it is a Google slide activity. You should have already watched the 9/11 video as well as did your do now. So this is not who we are vocabulary activity. It's what we're clicking on. It's probably going to be up here. It's going to say my document. I'm going to open it from here, and this is what pops up. And the very second slide tells you to watch my example before completing the rest of the assignment. Okay, so it walks you through what you need to know to complete the activity. But just to give you a short little preview of it, it is a word board that you're going to complete. And so it does, like I said, it does give you a step-by-step guide on how to do that in the PowerPoint. All right. Let's go to the criteria for success. So we know that the criteria for success is what we need to do in order to complete this assignment, to be successful in life, but to definitely be successful in this assignment. Okay. So I know you're probably getting tired of me telling you what the annotations are, but just so that you know, we are underlining the names of those nouns, people, places, things, those things that help us to build background knowledge. We are highlighting details in yellow. I'm grabbing my yellow marker, but digitally, to help us to make connections because we know that when we read, we are trying to find connections with the text. Text to self, text to text, and text to world. We're trying to see if is there any personal connections that we have? Is there any connections to another story that we have? Perhaps maybe even to when I was Puerto Rican. Maybe there's some text to text connections to this story. I mean, and then the final text to text connection that we've learned is text to world. So you've watched the 9/11 video. What does that video? That video is very much talking about the real world, what happened in the real world, what is happening now in the real world. What kind of connection can I make with that video and this text that we're about to read? You're going to write your 10-word gist that summarizes what just happened in each little box because it's the same setup. And then we're going to answer the guiding questions in one complete sentence. Okay? So without further ado, let's read. Okay. I'm going to navigate to that portion on Schoology. Past our mindful minute, past our do now, past our 9/11 video, past our vocabulary assignment, and you're clicking on this is not who we are day one. We know that today is the day 6, but this is day 1 for the sake of the title of this activity. All right, I'm gonna grab my notes really quickly and let's get to it. You know, the name at the very top, as you can tell, this time we don't have any key points. And the reason why is because we re-engaged in vocabulary activity and we also got some background knowledge from that video that we watched. Okay. So this is not who we are by Naomi Sahib Knight. That is her name. And then this is a text feature, guys. When you see this small little excerpt here, it's a text feature. So we're going to read that to get a little bit more background knowledge on who Naomi is, because it should be relevant to what we're about to read. Nye was born to an American mother and a Palestinian father. Even though Nye is based in Texas, she has traveled the world and refers to herself as a wandering poet. In this personal essay, Nye reflects on her relationship with her Arab American identity. As you read, take notes on how Nye describes her experiences being affected by her Arab American identity. Okay? So, what I want to do, even though it's not this it seems like this is the instructions on what to do, and it is, but we can highlight or underline, let's highlight those things that reveal, that stand out to us or reveal identity markers. Okay, so what are we going to do in this personal essay? We know that the personal essay means that it's a memoir, so let's highlight that. It means that it happened to her. And I also want to highlight Arab American identity. And the reason why I want to highlight that because I know that I just watched a 9/11 video, and I know that the individuals who were said to be responsible for that identified as Arabs, and so or Arab American. And so it's very important for me to understand why Naomi, why is it relevant that she is talking about this from her perspective? Why is it relevant? Because she is an Arab American, and so that makes it relevant. That makes it help us to understand why she is relevant to 9/11. All right, so we don't need to write a gist for this little portion. We just wanted to highlight some key points there. We're going to start with the read. And for this activity, I'm only going to read the first excerpt and then do some highlighting, do some underlining, and then I'm going to help you all out with the annotations and the guiding question. And then I'm going to set you off to fly because we've done a story just like this last week. And so I'm hoping that you all will be able to showcase all of your skills, because y'all got skills because you learned it last week. And so you don't need me to walk you through every single one or even two or three at this point. So let's get into This Is Not Who We Are by Naomi Sahib Nye. I'm idling in the drive-through line in a fast food franchise in Texas, the kind of place I usually avoid because my hungry teenager needs a hamburger, when a curling strand of delicate violin rises from National Public Radio. I know immediately it's Simon Shaheen, the Arab American virtuoso violinist, an elegant man who wears starched white shirts and black suits and plays like an angel. A calm washes over me that I haven't felt in days. The commentator says his name. I raise the volume. Our car fills up with grace. I place my head on the steering wheel, tears clouding my eyes. Mom, are you all right? You are so weird. No, I am simply an Arab American in deep need of cultural uplift to balance the ugliness that has cast a deep shadow over our days. All right. So the first thing we need to do for our criteria for success is underline the names of people, places, and things that help to build background knowledge. Okay. So Texas, we're going to underline that because now we know that Miss Nye or Mrs. Nye is living in Texas. That's where she was in this story. I want to underline the drive-through line at a fast food franchise because we know that that's a restaurant. Could it be Whataburger? Because that's my personal favorite now. Could it be Chick-fil-A? Could it be Wendy's? We don't know, but we know that it's a fast food franchise, a fast food restaurant. Okay. We are going to underline Simon Shaheen because that is a name. That is a name. And we find out in the same sentence that it is a virtuoso, which we learn is a individual who is a musician or a genius at it at that. We are going to underline National Public Radio. That is a radio station. So it is a thing. And this is what she was listening to, help us to understand what kind of things she actually likes. And then we're also going to underline virtuoso violinist because, again, that encompasses our vocabulary word, and we know that that is a person. Okay. The next thing we want to do is highlight details in yellow that stands out to us or reveal identity markers, okay, that help us to understand, what Nye's identity is, okay? The kind of place I usually avoid because my hungry teenager needs a hamburger. I'm going to highlight this because this tells me something a little bit about uh, Nye's identity. It also stands out to me because, even though I do eat at fast food restaurants, I try to avoid them, especially when it comes down to my own children, because it's not necessarily the best thing for you. Um, and then, like I said, it does help us to understand a little bit about Naomi because it tells us that she usually don't eat out. Okay. The next thing we want to highlight is Arab American. Again, it help us to understand her identity. We know that Naomi Saeed Nye is a Arab American. Okay, or she feels connected to the Arab American, Simon Shaheen. And then we see Arab American again. And just for the sake of this exercise, we will highlight it again because she says that Simon Shaheen was an Arab American, and now she's saying that she's an Arab American. Okay, and then the last thing I want to highlight is deep need of cultural uplift to balance the ugliness that has cast a deep shadow over our days. And I am again highlighting that because it stand out to me. I'm making a text the world connection there mentally because I just reviewed the 9/11 video. And so it sounds like to me that this can be the ugliness that has cast a deep shadow over her days in the memoir. The reason why, because if you know anything about 9/11, especially once you view the actual video, you know that it was one of the biggest terrorist attacks in New York City, in America, and it a lot of people lost their lives then, and because of terrorist activities, and so being an Arab during that time or Arab American during that time, or even today, honestly, it can be very difficult because people tend to place blame on people just because of who they think that they are, based on their cultural identity, based on the color of their skin, based on what they wear. So this definitely gives me a text the world connection here. Okay, so we know from previous assignments that after we underline those nouns and highlight those things that stand out to us, we need to create or write our gist. Our gist, again, is a summary, a 10-word summary of what's going on in the paragraph. Okay, so I'm going to say Nye, because she's the narrator, has been feeling upset but feels calm when she hears Shaim. I want to make sure I spell his name right. Yep, that's a little typo. Shaim's violin play. And I'm going to even go back and say Shaim's a Arab American play his violin. I'm going to delete that. Okay? So that's what's going on in this short little excerpt of the text. Nai, which is Miss Naomi, Saeem Nai, has been feeling upset, but feels calm when she hears Shaheen, a Arab American, play his violin. The guiding question: how is the narrator affected by the violin music? The narrator is or feels calm when she hears the music because she is in need of a cultural uplift. And if you look right up here, I simply got that from the very last portion of the uh, paragraphs. Okay? All right. So, without further ado, you will read 5 all the way to 11. There's about 2 additional guiding questions and 3, no, just 2 more sections for you to create your gist. Please, please, please remember to underline your nouns. Underline those people, places, and things that help you to build background knowledge. And then you're going to highlight those things that stand out to you. And you're also going to highlight those things that shows an identity marker. Help us to understand the narrator's identity. So highlight those things as well. Okay? All right. So what are your next steps? Complete the vocabulary activity. If you have not completed the vocabulary activity, if you did not take the time to do that, go back and complete the vocabulary activity. Then you're going to complete the close read, including annotations. Okay? The next thing you want to do is the exit ticket. Okay? And then you want to check out the book talk. Miss, what is the book talk? Is that for a grade? Um, the book talk is an opportunity to view or to review, preview books because it is very important for you guys to engage in some independent reading. And I know it seems like it's a lot, something extra to do, but it's really, really important. Why is it important? Because reading leads to success. And let me tell you why. When you read more than just your classroom assignments, more than just because Ms. McCoy told you so or any of your other teachers told you so, it research shows that you generally do better in school, all because you read. And when you read, extra things, it expands your vocabulary. It helps you to be able to understand books that you didn't even think that once you actually start doing your classroom assignments because you've seen that word before in the book that you read on your own. And then it shows you different writing styles. Different writers have different writing styles, and you get to see that. You get to witness it. You get to interact with it, which will help you sharpen your own writing skills. Because as you're reading it, you think it's going into your memory bank, and then you start developing your own writing identity or your writing ability based on all of those different tools that you read in the different books that you read. Okay, so this one is about the hate you give, and I'm hoping that you guys, they're literally no more than 2 minutes long. Take some time to look at that. Otherwise, in the meantime, in between time, go be great. If you have any questions or concerns, remember you can always email me, DM me, text me, call me, message me. I'm available to you. Have a great day.